Hey guys, this is a real quick tutorial video that I'm creating for blowout cards, and the reason is that I get a lot of questions on some efficient ways of running a huge draft, like a player draft break or something like that. So this will be just a hopefully a quick video on that for running really any draft, but especially a very large draft. Now, the first thing that I want you to see is the Alphabetizer. Now, a lot of us use random.org, and I use random.org too because everybody's familiar with it. But an even better tool is this, and it is the Alphabetizer, and it is at pretty simple. You can just put in Alphabetizer in Google and it'll come right up. But if you want to type it in, it's alphabetizer.flap.tv. So it's just that right there, alphabetizer.flap.tv. But again, Alphabetizer in Google or the Alphabetizer, and it'll bring it up for you. And you can see it right here on the screen. This is what it looks like. So let's say that you have an enormous player draft, all right? Let's say you're doing, 10 cases of Bowman draft picks as a player draft, just as a random example. So your draft might look something like this. Now, one of the ways that I will use this, use the Alphabetizer, what I'm showing you, is you can see here we just went active, and so one of the things that I have to do once I go active is I have to create a PayPal information for all the people that are in the break. And there's 286 spots, so there's probably 80, maybe 80 people or so in the break. And then I need to send all these people a PM, and I need to figure out if I've got all their slots correctly. Because as you know, for instance, Red Deer here, he got 3 slots in the beginning. Later on, he might have showed up and said, "Hey, Houdini, you know what? Give me another 2 or 3 slots." And then in my rush, I might not have remembered to change the 3 by his name, and he might actually have 6. So this is a real good way to find that, plus to put everybody in order so that they can find how much they owe quickly and conveniently. So what I'll do, sure I will, is I will just I'll take this entire list here. All 286 names, and I'll just copy it, and then I'll head on over back to the Alphabetizer here, and what I'll do is I'll just paste their names into the window. So there's everybody, right? And it's all numbered pretty well. 286. So I want to get rid of the numbering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this down here, and I'll try to make it larger so that you can see it. But what I clicked is remove the first word from each entry, and what that's going to do is it's going to take the number out. Alright, and then the next thing I'm going to do, and you'll want to do this too, is I'm going to click ignore case. And the reason is that lowercase words, when they alphabetize it for you, they put lowercase at the beginning and then uppercase at the end, or vice versa, or something crazy. Also, by the way, guys, they'll randomize the list, they'll reverse the list. Reversing the list is really good if you're running snake draft. Alright, so you might have your list random 1 through 40, and then you would go 40 through 1, right? Well, this will reverse that list for you, and it just makes that so much easier for running snake drafts. It will strip the HTML, it'll make everything lowercase, it'll capitalize the first word, remove duplicates, which is what we're going to be using in a minute, reverse the list, randomize, ignore indefinite article, ignore definite article. You can number the results or letter the results. You can separate them with whatever you want. You can ignore the first word, the last word. You can separate the terms by a new line, which is what I'm doing, by a comma, a tab, or whatever you want, right? You just click that. You can add anything you want to the beginning of each term or add it to the end of each term. So, I've used that I don't know how many times. And then down here, this one's pretty important too. It's maintain list order. So if you're using this after a random, you don't want to alphabetize it. You would want to maintain the order. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're just going to ignore case, and then we are going to remove the first word, and I'm just going to click alphabetize. Alright, so then now I've got my list in alphabetical order, and you can see right here it says 286 terms were sorted. But you see how quick that was? That was great, right? Now everybody is in alphabetical order. The next thing, and this is very important for you guys that are running drafts, because if you make a mistake here, it costs you. So if your spots are 30 bucks a spot, every mistake here could cost you $30. And that sucks. Alright, so this is what I want you to do. Just real quick, you know that you have 286 terms sorted, so that's cool. Just make sure that the number that you see right there, 12 Bizzles 5, just make sure that that corresponds with how many spots they have. Alright, so 12 Bizzles, he has 5. And then Alpine, I can see that he has 14. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do, and you're not going to have to watch the whole thing, but I'm going to go through this list real quick and make sure that everybody's number corresponds and make sure I didn't make an error. Alright, so once I've gone through them and made sure that everybody had the right spots, and by the way, I did make a mistake. There were 3 spots in here that I had messed up. So that actually would have cost me $90. So it's always good just to go through and make sure that you haven't made any huge mistakes. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to remove duplicates. And the reason, well, I'll show you the reason. So I can either remember to click ignore case, or I could have just maintained list order. But anyway, you just click alphabetize again and it puts it back in order. Now everybody should have 2 spots, except for the guys that only had 1, because the ones with the number, right, those are considered different. So what I mean is, instead of having 5 12 Bizzles, I only have the 2, and 14 Alpine 4. You see what I mean? But then the guys that only had 1 spot, they're only listed once anyway. So then what I do is I just go through and I cut those out. So there's 113 items sorted, so I'll probably end up with about 60 people in the break, which is a lot less than what I thought I was going to have. So you don't have to watch this, but this is basically what I'm going to do, is just go through and delete everybody. So I'll pause this video now and just start it back up again when I'm done. Alright, so what I've done is I've just gone through here and I've manually deleted the spots that didn't have the number attached. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna ignore case, and then I'm going to alphabetize this list, and it's going to give me a bunch of blank spots here in the beginning. And what you do is you just go to the first name, and then you just move on up all the way up, and you just delete, alright, or backspace, and then that'll get you to this. I just maintain list order again, and then I alphabetize it one more time, and it tells me right here that there are 65 people in the break. So now I know that I've got 65 people in my break, and that's helpful when you're trying to figure certain stuff out, supplies and whatnot. And it's all in alphabetical order, which helps me, and it also helps the other people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send everybody a payment reminder, right? And it's going to say, hey, the spot prices are yada yada yada. And so what they do is they just go to the list and then they find their name, right? So Crazy Grover will see, oh, I owe for 5 spots, and 5 spots will be such and such amount. And then Prospect Man, he'll know that he owes for 1 spot, etc., etc. All right, so it helps them find it, plus it helps you. It makes it easier on you. So what I do is I just Control A, Control C, and then I head back over to the break and I paste it in. Alright, so I put this information, what you see here, these PayPal rules, I put it in 3 different places. One, I make a new post so that everybody that's subscribed to the thread gets that. Hopefully everybody is subscribing. Then I put it obviously in the original post, in the OP, and I put it right up at the top so that everybody who goes to the OP sees that. And then I send a PM. And that's another way that Alphabetizer is going to help you. But first, let me go ahead and pause this and send these messages out. So here you can see my post. Obviously, just now accepting payments. I've got that the form you see in the text document. It's an attachment because I don't put my email address in a searchable form. Nothing against the people on the forum, but there are email scrapers that are going to be able to just go through and grab that. So in order to avoid that, I don't put it in there. And then here it is, guys, the list all created nice and easy. So I put that here. I also put it in the OP, and then I send it to everybody. The next thing that we would do is when I send the message, and here's where I use the Alphabetizer again. So what I would do is I would just copy this list right here. When you send a PM, a personal message on blowout cards in many forums, to more than one person, what you need to do is you separate the names by a space and a comma. So that's what's great about this, is because that you can actually add this information. So what I do is I go down here to where it says add, and then I add space semicolon, actually is what blowout uses, space semicolon, and I'm going to add that to the end of each term. And then I'm just going to click alphabetize. Now obviously I'm going to have to kill these the numbers in parentheses, so I will have to do that manually, but this is a time saver. So I just click alphabetize and it'll do that for me. So here you can see that my list now has the obligatory semicolon, space, semicolon after each name. Then I'm going to break my list up into groups of 10. Alright, so here's my list. They're broken up into groups of 10. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy and paste these right into the message. So for instance, I can send a message to up to 10 people, which is why we broke it up into groups of 10. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste in the list of the people that I've made. So I know it's difficult to see here up at the top, but this is actually a list of 10 names. And then I have my payment information and my title. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down here to the bottom and click send message. Alright, so that message went. Then all I have to do is I actually hit page back, right? So I just click back, and here it is again, and it's there. Everything's still there. I just have to paste in the next group of names. Okay, so another great way to use Alphabetizer, the Alphabetizer, is when you have a massive list like this. And what this was is we took all our spots and we had them random by a moderator. In this case it was Robert, I Love Fish 2, who did the randomizing for us. And as you can see, there were 286 items, right? Just like before, 286. So 7290 Morant, he got the first spot, and then John 21 got the second. But you can see there's two numbers. The reason that there are two numbers is because there was the original list of 1 through 286, and then there was this second list which was just randomized. So what you do is you just take all these numbers and you copy them. Alright, so here we are back on the Alphabetizer, which is the tool I meant to write this tutorial about. So alright, you can see we got this huge list, right? And it's kind of jumbled. The two sets of numbers can confuse some people. So what I like to do is I just come in here, and the most important thing is to click this button right here, Maintain List Order. Don't alphabetize. But the options on the left will still work. So you click that, right? And then over here, all you do is you remove the first word before each entry. Okay? So once you click that, click alphabetize, and it's going to take out that first word. Now, maintain list order is still clicked, and do it one more time. And that will wipe out this second number. So you just click alphabetize. There you are. Now what you want to do, okay, is you keep maintain list order, and you want to number the results. Okay, so you just number the results. I don't separate them with anything other than a space. So I just click a space in there, and then I click alphabetize, like so. And now here is your list, all numbered 1 through 286. In the exact order that it was randomed. And then I just copy that and I paste it into the thread. And what it does is it cleans it up for the people that are in your break. You know, so it just makes it a lot easier for people to understand. Alright guys, so those are the cool things that you can use the Alphabetizer for. Also, we use random.org, alright, and I think random.org is a great tool, but you can use that here too. For instance, I'll unclick maintain list order, and then I'm going to click randomize, Alright, and I'm just going to click the alphabetize button. Now this list is in random order. Alright, just like how random.org would do it. I click randomize again, right? And there it is again. And then I would just do it one more time and then randomize. And why this is actually better than random.org for this type of thing is that random.org takes you to a whole nother screen, right? And it's a little bit of a pain to move back and forth when you've got to randomize different lists. So especially for maybe the mods that have to do a lot of lists, this might be easier for you in order to jump in between lists. But it randomizes just like random.org does. Alright guys, so that is it for my handy dandy case breaker, the Alphabetizer tool tutorial. I hope you like it. Right now it's about 24 minutes long, but I'm sure I'm going to be able to edit that down so when you see it on YouTube, hopefully it'll be a lot shorter.